people in here. We out tonight. And I'm just like, yeah, we out tonight. And welcome back to my marathon story times today. So today we're gonna be talking about this long-awaited story time, and this is the story time where I got drugged at the bar story time. This bird always want to do something when I'm talking, but yeah. Anyways, I was drugged at the bar story time. Remember that story time? And a lot of people, like, I don't know, a lot of people watch it, but like I remember, like, I mentioned a girl in the story time named I was gonna call her name on Bubble. Mariah. And I was like, Mariah is going to get her own story time. And I kept saying she's going to get her own story time. She's going to get her own story time. But I never told the story because it was just like still, everything was still so recent with this girl. So it's been some time now. Like it's been like 2 years since this stuff happened. So I'm ready to tell my story. So, so yeah, so we're going to take a really back when we first started hanging out. But this story time isn't just about Mariah. It's also about a person named that I dated, and we're gonna call him Issues because he was literally crazy and he got issues. But both of these play hand in hand with each other because I have to take you all the way back to the beginning for you to understand the story. And this is the very beginning of our friendship. So, I remember when Mariah and I first started hanging out, she invited me down to where she's from. She stayed like an hour away, and she was like saying that we're gonna have a good time. It's so lit out here. There's so many places I can take you. I want you to experience all this stuff. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Yeah, like I'm gonna plan a whole day to come hang out with you. And mind you, I originally worked at night, like afternoon night. So I had took a morning shift so that I can still work and I can come be with her. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to work first and then I'm gonna come to you and then we can hang out and I'll spend the night and all that other stuff. She's like, okay, cool, yeah. So I went to work that day. I took a morning shift, so I was real tired. I'm not used to morning shifts. And I ended up, when I left, I was like, okay, I'm about to get ready to leave. Send me your address. She sent me that. Mind you, I packed all of my stuff, what I was going to wear when I went out, my makeup, all that. I already had packed all that stuff in my car, so I didn't have to go home. So I left work and I drove straight to her house. So when I get there, I walk in. I say I'm outside. She come and get me. And mind you, she lived in like a little apartment. So it wasn't like all that, but it was hers. So no jab or whatever. I'll just kind of describe it. I didn't want to get out by myself because it was like people like walking and they just look a little sketchy. So I was just like, I don't want to get out by myself. I don't know this neighborhood. I don't know these people. And she's more comfortable. So I just texted her, waited for her. And she came to the car and got me. And she's like, oh my God, friend, blah, 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 hugging me. And I'm like, hey. And she was like, come on in. This is my apartment right here. And she lived on the bottom floor, so we didn't have to walk up any stairs. So I carried all my stuff in. And as soon as I walk in, there's this girl sitting she was sitting on the couch or the floor? I think she was sitting on the couch. So there's this girl sitting on the couch. And we're going to name her Airhead. And there's a reason I named her Airhead. So Airhead was sitting on the couch and she was just like, hey, I'm Airhead. I'm like, hey, I'm Jay. And I was like, nice to meet you, Airhead. Blah, blah, blah. Being very friendly. And she was like, friend, you can go back in that back room, put your stuff down. She lived in the one bedroom, so if I stayed there, I'd sleep on the couch. Or I could sleep in the room. She started to sleep in the room with her. I could sleep on a blow mattress. It's up to me. But I ended up not staying that night, but I'm going to tell you why. So I was like, okay, cool. I put my stuff down and we come out there and we just all talking. She was like, let's go get some bottles. So I'm like, okay, bet, like, let's go get some bottles. Like, let's turn up. So we went to, sorry, y'all, get it close. Okay. So I'm like, okay, let's go get some bottles. Let's turn up. Like, it's about to be so fun. Right. So anyways, so we go get some bottles. She paid for a bottle and I paid for a bottle. So we had 2 bottles. And we got back in the car and we were just talking. And mind you, we were driving in my car. So Airhead was sitting in the back seat and Mariah was sitting in the passenger seat and I was driving. Like I said, Mariah had a car. Airhead didn't have a car. Or at least not that I know of. I've never seen her driving a car. But so we drive back to her house and then I was like, before we started doing anything, I need to get some food. And she was like, oh, before you get to the house, we can go get some seafood. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So we get a seafood platter and we split it 3 ways. Matter of fact, I think we split it 2 ways. I don't even think Airhead had money for real because I don't remember her paying for stuff. She didn't pay for the bottles. She didn't pay for food. But that's not my business. But yeah, so we split it 2 ways. I paid for half. She paid for half. And we went back to her house. And so we are eating. My job low-key didn't want seafood because I didn't want to smell like seafood when I go, out partying. So I'm like, okay, I'm just try not to smell stinky. But yeah, so we ate the seafood, we chilling. And then she was like, y'all ready to start drinking? I was like, oh no, like I want to go ahead and do my makeup first or whatever. But I was like, but I smell like seafood. And she was like, no, friend, don't worry about it. You could just take a shower. Like, I got towels, blah, blah, blah. Like, go, you can take a shower if you want to. And I was like, okay, cool. So I took a shower. Then I went in her room and I started actually getting ready. Put my clothes on, lotion, deodorant, makeup, everything that you do to get ready. So after I finished doing my makeup, she was getting ready too, and Airhead was getting ready. I don't think Airhead did her makeup, but Mariah did a little something to her face. She didn't really fully beat it. And this is when at the time I really didn't know how to do my makeup that well. Obviously, if you go all the way back to that story time when I was drugged at the bar, you could see the difference in my makeups, because this is definitely hitting a little bit more different than that one. When I'm thin behind eyebrows, but we ain't gonna talk about it. Not too much on me, not too much. But yeah, so I did my little what up whoop whoop, you call it the whoop whoop, on my face, and we all was ready. So then we started drinking. Oh, before we started really drinking, and when I was doing my makeup, I didn't have on the outfit I was gonna wear. She gave me like a t-shirt and some shorts to put on because I didn't want to get makeup on my clothes. But once I was done with my makeup and it was done with makeup, there we also had on our regular clothes. We started just taking shots, and like it was playing music, like we was like twerking, dancing, like we was getting it, like we was having a good time, like it was good vibes, even with Airhead. And even though like when I first met Airhead, she was a little standoffish, like she didn't really want to talk to me for real, so I didn't really talk to her. But eventually when we all started drinking, she became a little bit more open. She was a lot more cool. So I'm like, okay, good vibes. Like, this is fun. Like, I would definitely do it again. But I was more so Mariah friend. I was never planning on being friends with Airhead. I would be cool if Airhead came along when Mariah invited us all together, because I thought she was cool. But yeah, anyways, we was drinking, blah, blah, blah. Then eventually, like, it was starting to get real late. So I'm like, okay, what time are we going? She's like, we can get dressed now. We can go now. And she's like, but can you drive? And I'm thinking in my head, like, girl, like, why didn't you tell me to drive before? Because I wouldn't have been drinking this much. But she's like, no, everything is really, really close. So that's why I want you to drive. She's like, my car backing up and blah, blah, blah. And Airhead don't got no car. So I'm the only person that can drive. So I'm just like, okay, I'll drive. So we about to get ready to leave. So we get ready and we leave. And right when we get down the street, like after we pass that little light by her house, here come Airhead. Oh my God, I can't find my ID. Like, I can't find my ID. And I'm like, girl, why are you just not looking for your ID? But I'm like, she's like, are you sure? Like, she's like, yeah, like, I don't know where it's at, blah, 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 blah. So we have to turn around. Mind you, I'm drunk, so I'm kind of annoyed. So we have to turn around, go all the way back to the house, and she goes in, she looking for her ID. She's like, it's not in there, like, I can't find it, blah, 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 blah. And Mariah's like, okay, friend, just calm down, like, look around, like did you drop it in the car, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, tell me why her ID was, like, so you know how you got the phone? Yeah, her ID was in the back of her phone. Like, she had a different case on it. This one is see-through. But it was in the back of her phone. And I'm just looking like, girl, you don't waste my time, and it was in the back of your phone. But anyway, so we drive off, and we go to the first little spot. And it's a hookah bar. So I pull up on the street and we go in. I'm thinking it's about to be, so we could park on the sides of the street. So I pull up and there's like nobody out there. I can hear the music booming inside of the bar, but I'm just like, there's somebody here. So she's like, no, who cares? Like, we out to have a good time. Like, let's have a good time. So I'm just like, okay, yeah, party turn up. Anyways, but we go into this hookah bar, and y'all, going to this hookah bar, and there's nobody in there except for the people who work there and probably like one other couple. But it was like, fuck it. I was like, y'all wanna get some hookah? Like, cause I like hookah. And it was like, I don't want no hookah. I don't smoke hookah. And Mariah was like, I'll smoke a little bit of it, but I'm not gonna smoke too much. But I figured Airhead didn't want to smoke the hookah because Airhead had no money for real. So, because I'm pretty sure Mariah paid for Airhead to get into that club. But I was like, okay, I'll just buy the hookah and y'all can smoke it if you want, because I want my hookah. So I bought the hookah. We waited for it like 15 minutes for it to come out. So we waited like 15 minutes for it to come out. It came out, the girl lady brought it out. We was jamming, we started smoking the hookah. At one point, even Mariah and I did that little thing where I stuck the hookah in and then I blew it into her mouth. We did that. I actually have a video of that. I think I still do have that video, but I'm still not gonna post it. Like, I don't want to put Mariah's face in it, because her face was definitely in it. But I definitely did that with her. So we was only in there for like, I say 30 minutes, and I'm still smoking my hookah. Like, the hookah is still fresh, and they're like, okay, let's go to the next place. And I'm like, bro, I'm not doing my hookah. And they was like, it's okay, friend, like, we about to go somewhere else lit. Like, this ain't really hitting on nothing. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, that's what I said when I got out of the car, bitch. I was like, we here to have a good time, we here to party. And so I'm just, but I didn't say that to them, because at the end of the day, like, I'm trying to see what this is all about. So I get out, we walk out and we get in the car and we go to the next place, this place that she spoke so highly of. And when we pull up, it's no parking. So I'm like, oh, okay, so they deep, like, okay, they packed, like, it's gonna be a good time. So we pull up, we had to park in like this little neighborhood in the back of the club. So we park there, we get out, we walk. It's a line, and we stand in line. It's super, mind you, it's super cold outside, and we all got on like short stuff, so it's cold. We're sitting in the line, and there's like 5 people in front of us and like 2 or 3 people behind us, because we got in line before them. And so he let those 5 people in, and once we got to the front, he's like, oh, only need 1, we at capacity, so the rest of y'all gotta wait. And I'm like, and we like, which one of y'all want to go in? And then that's when Airhead was like, oh, I got friends in there, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in. Now wait, y'all can stay together, and she gonna be by herself, blah blah blah. And so we like, all right. So Airhead went in, and I actually don't think we paid to get into this one. I don't think so. I don't remember paying. So she just walked straight in. So we waited out there for like 45 minutes, y'all. And I'm just like, bruh, at this point, like, we might as well just leave. Like, we was debating on whether we should leave or not, because we was out there for 45 minutes. So I'm just like, what you want to do? She was like, let's just wait a little bit longer. And I'm glad that we did, because some people ended up coming out, and that's when he let us in. So we go in there, and as soon as we walk in, we see like pool tables, and I'm like, what the heck? That was a club. She's like, no, the club over on this side. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it's like a split in half thing. She's like, yeah. So then we go to the little club part. Tell me why this man says they're at capacity. It's not full. Like, it's so much space in there. There's not even a lot of people in there. So I'm like, what the heck? But she was like, I guess that was normal for her. So she was like, oh, there's people in here. We out tonight. And I'm just like, yeah, we out tonight. So we go to the bar and we get these like green tea shots. I forgot what they call. I think they are called green tea shots. And we all took a shot. She actually paid for the shot. She paid for me, her, and Airhead a shot. So we all take the little shot, and we having fun, or kind of having fun. We stayed there for like an hour, but it wasn't really lit. Nobody was really dancing. The only people that was dancing for real was Airhead and this other girl. Airhead was dancing near the DJ booth though, and the other girl was dancing like in the middle of the floor, and it was just people surrounding and people sitting down. Like, it was like not really it. So I'm like, you ready to go? And she's like, yeah, let's go. And so, yeah. So we end up leaving and got in the car. Airhead, I think she ended up staying there. She didn't come back to the house with us. So we drive back to the house, and cause she said she had somebody that could take her home. So we drive back to the house, and we get into the little house, and we go sit down. And I was just talking to her. So y'all, I'm like, I low-key was kind of like a little annoyed, because I'm like, okay, I thought this night was gonna be really lit, and it really wasn't lit. So I decided, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go home, because I'm just ready to be home and lay in my own bed, so I don't want to sleep on the couch or whatever. She's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and head out. And she was like, oh, okay, well, I'm so happy you came. We really got to do this again. And then this is when I told her, next weekend, we're going to be in downtown Savannah. Downtown Savannah, that's where we're going to be. And she was like, okay, bet, like downtown, I got you, boo, boo, boo. And I said, is this going to be you? She's like, oh, yeah, I just invited Airhead because, you know, she wanted to hang out, so I invited her. But I don't normally mix my friends, so it's just going to be me. And I said, cool, because I like to know ahead of time who all coming so I can get that picture of who's coming, because I need to know vibe. And at first, Airhead vibe was off, even though she got cooler throughout the night. Her vibe was still off a little bit, but it was, I feel like she had a this is my friend type of vibe, you know, who are you? So I feel like that was her vibe. So, you know, I don't want to step on nobody's toes. If this your friend, it's your friend. But y'all. So we ended up, I ended up leaving. I ended up going home. About a week passed. It's the approaching the next weekend. So this is when we're gonna meet issues, okay? Because I met issues with Mariah. So I'm getting ready at home. I asked her, you know, I was like, you come over to my house, whatever. We get ready together. She's like, okay. She's like, okay, cool. She's like, but she gonna drive home. She don't want to stay. And I was like, okay, I don't care. And she's like, all right. So we ended up spending, like, we actually spent the whole day together. Like, we actually took my kids out to eat. We took them out. We went to the mall. Like, we did stuff. We found outfits for that night, and we found some other stuff. I actually bought some shoes that night, which I actually did not like. They was a little too big, and I don't even know why I wore them big behind boots, but I wore them that night. So I had on these big behind tennis shoes, y'all. They wasn't super big, but they just looked big to me, so I didn't like them. I actually gave them away. I wore them one time, and it was downtown. I never wore them again. But so that first night we no, I think it's the same night. So okay, back it up. So went to the mall. She found something to wear. I found something to wear. I ended up changing my outfit because I had this sweater. I thought it was gonna be really cute, and it actually wasn't cute because it was cold outside. So I ended up switching it, and I had on something else completely different. I had them dang on tennis shoes on, y'all, big old bows. But but like I kept asking her, I was like, are these shoes ugly? Like, I'm not really feeling these shoes. Like, they look big to you. She kept saying, oh no, they really cute. They're really cute. I really like them. But y'all, Mariah was funny because I'm gonna tell y'all in the other parts, you're gonna see, like, sometimes I really felt like she wanted me to look off because, you know, you're hungry and I'm supposed to just let you walk out any type of way. But not saying I didn't look cute, but I'm just saying, like, them tennis shoes was big. Like, you should have said that. Like, and any of my homegirls be like, girls, ain't no big old shoes out. And I wouldn't feel offended. I wouldn't care. But I'm just saying, like, you know, if you knew them shoes look big, you should have said that. But I mean, I felt like they look big, but at the same time, I was trying, like, maybe I'm just tripping. But anyways, so when we get ready together, my kids ended up going to my sister's house. I think I took them to my sister. I really don't remember where they went that night. But she stayed with me the whole day. And whatever, we got ready together, and we drive together? No, we drove separately because she wanted to go shoot right back home right after that. So we drove separately. We parked. We get out, and so first we went to this place downtown. We went there. It was lit, but the vibe was a little off. People were dancing, and sometimes that club is like that. It's fun one night and it's not fun the next night. Like, it's fun one night, but it's not fun. Like, you gotta catch it on a good night. So at that time, it was not a good night. So I was like, where else could we go? Like, this point is not hitting on nothing. And she was like, well, let's go to this other club. And at this point, this was right a little bit after I got drunk at the bar, remember? So I met her at that time. And I was like, really, like, no, I really want to go back and in there because, you know, what happened to me last time. And she was like, I promise I was just a bad night. It really is a good club. Like, let me just show you differently, blah, blah, blah. Like, if anything happened to you, I got you. Like, I'm not like that other girl. I forgot what I named her in that story time. And then I was like, she's like, I'm not like her. I got you, friend. Like, let's just try. And I was like, okay, we could try. And I ended up liking that club a lot. And I ended up going there a lot, like, a lot. So I was like, okay, we could go. So we go there. I'm really afraid because I'm really like, somebody gonna remember me, be like, oh, is that girl that threw up? Is that girl that was all passed out at the bar? Like, I was thinking like that, y'all, but nobody even said that to me. But so we go in there, and there's some Q dogs in there. And if you don't know what Q dogs are, they're a fraternity, black fraternity, and they be doing their little dance. They be like, you know, I'm not gonna do it because I'm not about to get cussed out on the internet, but they be doing their little head thing and whatever, and they just be looking so good, y'all. So I'm like, the Q dogs are in here. And I actually did not start liking Q dogs until I started hanging out with Mariah and Airhead, because I didn't know what Q dogs were at first, because I never seen black fraternities besides movies and stuff, or sororities. So like, I really didn't know who they were. So when I seen them do their little dance that night, I'm like, oh, cute dogs. Like, I was a cute dog hot girl fan. Like, but they wasn't about to lift me in the air. They was not about to do all that. No, I ain't got time for that. But we ended up meeting a couple of cute dogs there, and I'm actually really still cool with one of the cute dogs to this day. Like, he's my friend on Snapchat, y'all. We don't talk like how we used to, but we still was really good friends. And I ended up seeing him like a lot of times after me and Mariah weren't friends anymore. But yeah, but we never did nothing. Like, he was just a cool friend. Like, I really liked him. Like he's cool. But I met him that night. So at that night, I also met Issues. Now we're getting into Issues, y'all. So I don't know if this story time is gonna be really long, y'all. I don't want it to be too long, so I'm only gonna tell a half of issues, but then we're gonna have to pause for another time. So we was like watching the cute dolls do their little thing, and I was recording them, and I don't know if I still have the video. If I have the video of them doing a little thing, I might insert the clip. But if not, I'm just don't have it. I don't know if I have it or not. But I was recording them do their little thing, and I seen this one boy, like, okay, so he was standing with this Caucasian boy, and the Caucasian boy gave off like black vibes. Like he had his little hair to the side, like blah blah blah. Like he wasn't ugly, but like was like more focused on the other boy. And this boy, he was so tall. He had dreads, and he said he had his dreads pulled up. He had a real nice face. He had real nice teeth. Like he just looked so yummy, yummy, yummy. So I tapped Mariah, and I'm like, girl. She's like, what, friend? And I'm like, he is so cute. And she was like, oh, he is handsome. And I was like, I should talk to him. She's like, no, don't talk to him. Let him come to you, because if he think you're cute, he gonna come to you, friend. And she right, don't chase no man. So y'all, he ended up coming up to me, like not right away, like right after I said that, like boom, there he was. But it was like sometime throughout the night, he ended up walking up to me, and he was like, what's up? And I was like, hey. And he was like, you want to dance with me? And y'all, I was really shy, so I'm like, dance? I don't know how to dance. He was like, just try. So a song came on, and I was like doing my little 1 2 1 2, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't that good, because the song I could not. And he was dancing with me. He liked the dance, obviously, because he was like, can I get your Snapchat? And I was like, yeah, you got my Snapchat. And he was like, okay, cool. And he's like, I'm Issues. And I was like, I'm Jay. And we exchanged Snapchats, and that was that. He ended up leaving. I didn't see him for the rest of the night, and me and Mariah left. So we're gonna switch from talking about Mariah to talking about Issues. So we gotta switch to Issues now. So I actually have not been talking to Issues that much, because like this is what happened. So when we left that night, he hit me up on Snapchat, and he was just like, you should pull up. Pull up, sir, I don't even know you. So like right off the bat, Issues rubbed me the wrong way. And why did I give him another chance? I don't know. I think it's because he was cute. But I stopped talking to him. I did not talk to him at all after that, because I'm like, I'm not pulling up. You're not about to get none of this good. Like, what's wrong with you? So I was like, Mariah's like, you ever heard from Issues? And I'm like, nah, I ain't heard from him. I heard from that night, but I haven't been talking to him. She's like, oh, why not? I'm like, oh, because he want me to pull up. I'm not pulling up. And she's like, well, I understand that, friend. Like, hey, don't do nothing no man want you to don't do nothing that you don't want to do. And I'm like, cool. Like, I know. So I actually didn't hear from Issues for a very, very, very long time. And at this point, we got to go back to Mariah really quick, because I'm like a little off. I just thought about it. So I was hanging out with Mariah all the time. But remember the girl from the StoryTime that I told you that was really jealous of me and Mariah? She caused a lot of issues, because we all work together. She caused a lot of issues at work. And Mariah and I ended up stopping being friends because of her. But mind you, Mariah and I are going to be friends again. We are going to be friends again. This is not the end of Mariah. We stopped being friends at that point. So when we weren't friends, I had actually changed my job, and I started working somewhere else, and I made a new friend. Dust Bucket. That was my friend. That was the new friend I made at work, y'all. Dust Bucket and Leprechaun. Wow, the stories really connect with each other, huh? But like I said, Leprechaun is hand in hand with Mariah, and in order to tell the story, I gotta tell this whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. So I ended up becoming friends with Dust Bucket, y'all. And I told y'all that I'm not going to reissue. I'm not going to talk about anything. If you want to see that story time about what happened between me, Dust Bucket, and Leprechaun, just go watch the New Year's Eve story time. But they play a part in the story time only a little bit. But Leprechaun does play a part in the Mariah story time. And this is all just the very beginning. The very beginning. But I think the New Year's Eve story time is like literally how I stopped being friends with almost like all of them, every single last one of them. But I'm going to still tell the story time of how it really came to play into each other, of how I really stopped being friends with them for real. Right. Well, it's kind of the end, but it's like more to the ending. I didn't tell in that story time. So yeah. So the girl at work, she asked me to hang out. I was hesitant, but one night I decided I said yes. Me and her ended up getting brunch that day. We ended up meeting this other girl who was like from Atlanta, and we hung out with her. I'm not gonna give her a name because she actually doesn't pop back up at all. But yeah, we hung out with her. We had a good time. Well, I mean, her vibe was a little off. This was the very first time I hung out with Dust Beckett, and I did not hang out with Leprechaun right away, but this was the very first time I hung out with Dust Beckett. So her vibe was off the whole night. I was unsure. My sister's friend, all said her vibe was off. Like, I'm not tripping, but I kind of pushed it to the side because I'm like, maybe she was having a bad night. I should have just listened to them because none of this stuff would ever happen. But yeah, I'm very hard-headed. I have a hard time of listening. But yeah, anyways, y'all, back to the story time. I ended up hanging out with Dust Beckett at night, and that's what happened. I'm just skim through it because it's not really nothing bad, super bad. Her vibe was just off. If you want that story time, I can tell it, but I'm not going to go into full details of when I first hung out with her. But it was the next day. I remember because I actually spent tonight at my grandma's house, and when Issues hit me up on Snapchat the very next day, he was like, hey, what are you doing? I was really hungover. I was like, I'm hungover. I don't really feel good. And he was like, you should come hang out with me today. And I'm just like, you know, try to get me. But he was like, I was like, no, I'm all right. He's like, nah, like, we could just, my friends are coming over. We all about to go swimming at my pool. Like, just come through. Like, you come swimming with us, hang out with us. And when he said, like, hanging out with his friends, I was like, oh, like, you want to see his friends? Y'all don't let that get y'all because, no, just don't fall for it. So I'm like, oh, he want me to see his friends. Like, okay, maybe he really feeling me. Like, maybe he's changed a little bit. Like I'm going to go see what it's about. So I ended up going swimming. And it's funny because, like, my sister ended up watching my babies for me while I went to go do that. Y'all, I was always outside, but my kids was always in good hands. Trust me. I was still a mother, but I was still outside. I was a good mother, but I was still outside because all mothers deserve breaks. I'm a mother Monday through fucking Sunday. Like, but I did get breaks. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. But so I dropped my kids off to my sister's house, and I was like, send me your address. And he was like, okay. Y'all, tell me why my sister literally lived like 5 minutes away from this dude. I'm like, bro, he's literally right here. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let you know I'll pull up. He's like, all right. So I'll pull up to his house, and I'm like, okay, I should tell him I'm here. So I text him like, I'm here. He's like, dang, already? And I'm like, well, yeah, you live right around the corner from my sister's house. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And he was like, I'm about to be there in a minute. I didn't know you was gonna come that fast. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. So I'm just waiting, just sitting there talking on the phone. I don't know who I was talking to, probably my sister. Not the one I dropped our kids off to, my other sister. And then he comes and he knocks on my windows. I'm like, oh, hey, you get out. My friends and stuff are on the way. You come inside real quick, blah, blah, blah. So we just sitting inside, and he was talking to me. Like, we just having a normal conversation. And at this point, like, it's cool right now. Like, and so I'm sitting on the bed because there's nowhere else to really sit for real. His room a little junky, y'all. So I'm just sitting on, like, the edge of the bed, and he just, like, jumps in the bed and, like, lays down. And he, like, pulls me onto the bed. I'm like, bro, like, I'm not here for that. And he's like, I'm not doing nothing. Like, we're just chilling. I just would want to mess with you, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he literally takes my freaking phone, and he's, like, playing, like, taking my phone. I'm like, bro, give me my phone. Like, why are you playing? Yo, why he put my phone in his pants? He puts my phone in his pants. I'm like, bro, give me my phone back. Like, that's disgusting. And he's like, no. And he's playing and stuff. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, bro, I'm about to just go. And he's like, all right. Let me see where my friend's at. So he calls me on the phone. He's like, where you at? Blah, blah, you about to get away. Okay, cool. So we in there for like another 10 minutes. And then eventually we hear a knock at the door. He's like, yeah, we could go now. So I was like, okay, cool. Mind y'all, I had on this, like, did I have a bathing suit? No, I did not have a bathing suit. I actually had some biker shorts that I had with me, and then I had like this, what is it called? This scarf thing that I tied around like a bathing suit. So that's exactly what I had on. Like, I didn't have a bathing suit on because I didn't know I was going swimming, and I didn't want to go all the way back home. So I get in the I mean, I get in the car. We leave out of the door, the back door. We didn't go through the front. We went through the back. Because he has 2 doors. Because he on the bottom too, by the way. So we leave out the back door part, and we cross over, and we started walking with his friends to the little pool. So it's this girl. We're not gonna give her a name because I don't really know. I mean, I never seen her again. And then it's his brother. And we're gonna give him Angel because he's completely opposite of his brother. And then his brother's boyfriend, and we're gonna name him Billy. So it's the girl, the brother boyfriend, and the brother. So those are the only people that was there. And the girl looks like his best friend, but I never seen her again. Like, I don't know what happened to her. Like, not saying she died or nothing, but I don't know if they was best friends. They fell out. I don't know. Really don't know. So she just rolling up. She's smoking. We in the pool. He's smoking with them. I don't smoke at this time. And we all just having a really, really good time. He like swimming with me. I'm like, he's trying to like hold me and all this other stuff. And we do have a good time. Like, it was a good time. But then everybody ready to go. And so we go back. And he was like, are you hungry? And I was like, oh, a little bit. I didn't eat anything, and I was drinking yesterday. He was like, okay, let's go get some food. So he don't have a car, y'all. Should have known better. I'm just playing. But he didn't have a car, so he actually had to get in my car, and then I drove us. But he did pay for the food. So he paid for the food. We went to Carrie Hilliard's. We just got something quick, and then we went to his house. We watched the movie, we ate. And then I was like, okay, I gotta go because, I gotta go get my kids and blah, blah, blah. He said, am I gonna see you again? And at that point, like, earlier that day, he was being very annoying, but I actually started to really like him, like, because his personality was cool. Like, I thought he was real cool. I should have just got really annoyed and left, but I wouldn't have been in this situation, y'all. So I'm like, I'm like, okay, yeah, like, you can see me again, whatever. He gave me a hug. He walked me to my car, and I leave. I pick my kids up, and I go home. Y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the story right here. But it's more to this story. It's so much more to this story, and this is gonna be a series, y'all. Because when I say it gets so juicy, like, it gets juicy. Mariah's coming back. And yeah, she is gonna come back real soon. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this story time right here. Be looking out for part 2. I don't know what I'm gonna name the series yet, but just know it's a series. Anyways, so if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't like this video, sorry, boo, just not the girl for you. And be looking out for more videos, more content. I might even just record part 2 today, but I'm not gonna record all the parts today because I already recorded 3 videos just now. So there won't be a part 3 recorded right away, so you're gonna have to wait for part 3. But I might go ahead and give y'all a little extra tea with part 3. No, I'm sorry. Give you a little extra tea with the part 2. So be on the lookout for that one. So without that being said, Queen J out.